So my name is Stephanie Cruz, aka Coach Cruz, tu entrenadora. That means your trainer. I am a health and fitness coach. I just coach people online, but I consider myself a social content creator for Latinos and just for everyone online. That's who I am, social fitness, health content creator. I really started my own personal health journey in 2011. I was 19 going on 20 at the time, and I was clocking in at 298 pounds. That was my highest weight ever. But weight loss and just struggling with weight is nothing new to me. I've been struggling since I was a child. I always struggled with that. It was just my genes. But I just kind of began with experimenting with like, I need to do this, otherwise I'm going to die. Because that, honestly, I don't mean to sound rude, but that was really it. If I didn't take matters into my own hands, I didn't know where I would be right now, or if I would even be here speaking to you. And so that's really where I began, just experimenting with things. And after just having so much great progress working out at home, people began to ask me a lot of questions, and that's when I was like, you know what, maybe I should really be a coach and just start to motivate people. So I signed up through a company called Beachbody to be a coach, but that's just only one small part of my story. Like, I took that and just created a whole new identity, Cruz to Fit, which is really about making small little changes into your life that can ultimately change your life and give you greater health and a greater life and a happier life. And so that's kind of been how I've been slowly but surely getting to this point right now. I guess because, I had, as I mentioned, I personally was going through my own health and wellness journey. And I really, with that advertising background, like I was always taught to look for a niche, look for a new market, a new area. And that's what I saw. I saw it through my posts. I saw it just me talking, the way people would just naturally come up to me. That's when I realized, like, a light bulb went in my head. It was like, whoa, this is a huge market, a huge opportunity, and now is the time to take advantage of it before someone else steps in the game. And when I say a huge market, I mean people, not only Latinos, but people of color wanting to learn about health, people who look like me, who are plus size and don't have these crazy after photos with like 8 abs to show it. People need to see real people eating healthy, real people who live in the same city and have the same access to the things they have access to do it. And that's what I saw, and I was like, you know what? I got the means, I got the knowledge, and I'm just experimenting, and people like me, so I might as well try it. The real moment that happened for me personally was, it was last year, it was in 2015. My mom she got sick. She's someone who's always been on top of her health, but someone who's always on top of her health, who was down my throat for my whole adolescence, who I despised her for it. But she was always someone who took care of herself, and here she comes. It's like, oh, hey, by the way, you have a rapidly growing tumor in your uterus, and we're gonna have to take it out and give you chemo and radiation. And to me, when I saw the healthiest person in my life and the strongest person in my life go through something like that, that was kind of when it started to hit me. And it got to a point where I was putting in a lot of hours at work, a lot of hours, and putting my talents towards something that wasn't, as I mentioned, the greater good necessarily. And for me, my time was best used at home with my mom. She needed me. I'm her only daughter. She needed me. And that's when I was like, you know what? I need a job that can allow me to preach health so that people can get better, but also give me the flexibility that I need right now to be with my family, because that's number one for me, is my family. And so that's when I was like, you know what? I got this niche. I've been doing it for a little while. Screw this. I'm just gonna try it full time and see what happens. The Cruz to Fit thing is it's an entrepreneurial route, and entrepreneurship, as you may or may not know, is most jobs are a pay it forward type of thing. Like you're doing all these efforts and you're putting in all this time and investing money, and you're not necessarily seeing it right away. And so like the first couple of weeks, getting used to a lifestyle like that was definitely hard. I stressed out, I cried a lot, and I wondered, is this worth it? Like, should I be doing this? Am I going to make my bills? Am I going to be able to pay, my minimum payments on my credit cards? Like that sort of thing. Like definitely that worry and that fear I felt it, and I still feel it sometimes, but I also tell it to shut the hell up, because at the end of the day, if I die tomorrow, that debt's still gonna be there. But is what I did today, will that have been worth it? At least, like, if I were to leave this world tomorrow, that debt's gonna be there and nothing's gonna matter. But what I said and the things that I did in the past is what's gonna count. So, I mean, there's that fear and that wonder, like, am I gonna have everything to live that I need, everything I need to live every day? But to me, it's going back to that greater good. It's just seeing that, I believe in God, and I know that what I'm doing is going to change lives, and I'm going to be blessed for that. And I might not be blessed right now, but in a few months, in a couple of years, you're gonna be calling me asking how you can join my team, because I'm telling you, it's going to happen, and I'm going to make some people live happier lives, and that makes me happy. So it helps with a little stress. I mean, there's so many, but like the one basic thing is this, and like I want to scream this at the top of my lungs any chance I get. Your size does not determine your level of fitness. I want to scream this out to people, because people look at me like, yes, I still got hella extra meat on me. Don't underestimate me. Don't think I can't do a push-up or that I can't run laps around you, okay? That's number one. And number two, that Latinos in general aren't fit. Let me tell you something. I can understand why people think that. Yeah, we eat a lot and stuff too, but we can still be fit. We still like to run. We still like to dance. And if you've ever danced some merengue and stuff like that, you probably felt that pain in your abs, because we like to move, and that if anything is what I want to say to people. Like, you can't categorize me because of my shape, because of my ethnicity, because it has nothing to do with my level of fitness, whether I'm interested in fitness. It doesn't even dictate what type of fitness, what type of exercising I like. Just because I'm Latina doesn't mean I only do Zumba, okay? Yes, I Zumba every now and then, but that's not the only thing I do. And people think like, oh, you're a Latina, you like to work out, you're teaching classes, oh, you do Zumba, don't you? No, okay? Don't get me wrong, nothing wrong with Zumba, but that's not the only thing I do. I do other things. I lift, I work out, I run, I jump. I mean, it depends on how I'm connecting with someone. If I'm connecting with someone online, what I love to do is just talk to them. Honestly, like, how am I gonna recommend you something or build a meal plan if I don't know anything about you, if I don't know what you like, what you have access to, where you live, what's your favorite type of music? I need to find a way to connect with people, and that's the first thing I do, because I want them to know, like, you don't just have a coach here, you have a friend. You have someone who's gonna understand you. You don't have a robot here. I'm not gonna give you a plan that I gave to, Ken. Ken and Izzy can't be on the same plan. Ken and Izzy have different things. It's that type of thing. That's the first thing I do. So I talk to them, ask them questions, make them laugh. But the main thing I want them to do is get comfortable. And it's the same thing with my live classes. When I walk into my class, I give my introduction. I tell people, hey, this is fun, this is sexy, we have no boundaries here. Like, I'm the first one to pinch my loose skin and say, don't give a shit if things like this are flapping around. I mean, if I offend myself and I drop that right there, if I'm the first person to drop that wall, then I know that they will too. And so that's really what I focus on doing, on getting people, no matter where I'm connecting with them, getting them comfortable, letting them know they can be raw and real with me, because I'm gonna be the same way with them. But ultimately also to get them to have fun and know that you can do this and have fun and have energy and be smiling and bouncing off the walls like me. I mean, as I mentioned, for me, at home is my comfort place. It's the best place. I can work out in my sports bra, in my yoga pants, without having to worry about everybody seeing my chichos fly all over the place. And if you don't know what that is, that's Spanish for love handles. I don't gotta worry about that at home, because nobody's looking at me, it's just me. At home, I get to grunt, I get to make these noises, and I always tell people, I'm like, if you're not grunting, if you're not going, in agony or screaming out curse words or whatever it is, like, you're not working out hard enough, you're not pushing yourself. And if you're not pushing yourself and consistently challenging yourself, you're not gonna grow. That's just the only way you grow, by pushing past those limits. So at home, you can really do that. And then you have the people who are like, oh, I don't have the equipment at home, I don't have like this and that, which I understand. Absolutely, I've been working on my collection for a long time, but that's also another misconception there, thinking that you need this equipment. Have you not heard of insanity? Have you not heard of calisthenics, cardio? You don't necessarily need anything crazy. You don't need dumbbells. You just need your own body and the mindset to want to push yourself to that point. I mean, and then working out at the gym, like, you have all the equipment, you have everything you need, you're in that environment. I know people who say, well, I can't work out at home because I'm just too lazy. It's a mind thing. You just don't want to do it then. You just don't want to do it. If you say that you can't work out at home because you just can't get into that zone, well, Let me tell you something, working out at home, I don't have to worry about putting my stuff in a locker, locking up my stuff, or having to change or trek out in this cold. I could just go right into my living room and right there's my gym. You gotta do that with the gym, and that's why I feel like it starts to limit people. I mean, to each your own. If you live in New York City and you have neighbors under you and you can't be jumping too much, or you don't have space for weights and things like that, like, okay, fine. But the point is, stop making excuses. You find your way, like the best way that it is for you to work out, whether it's the gym or at home. Everybody's different. For me, it was home. That was my comfort place, but we all have the ability to find that. So however it makes sense for you, go for it. I'm not recommending one versus the other. I'm just saying the pros and cons, and now you write down what you need, your pros and cons, and figure it out. That's what I tell people. People like Nicole Mejia, who she's CEO of a founder called Get Fit and Thick, and her thing, she was always a slimmer model who had big thighs, and because of her giant, big, thick thighs, she was kind of like, yeah, you're not like, we just want a face shot, we don't want body shots. And she took her own route, started to build up her fitness game, grew her glutes and booty more, and her movement is just about empowering women, like empowering women to adapt to that shape, to love the shape that they have and build it and form it and know that you can be fit and you can have your curves and you can be beautiful too. And I just love it. And most women always come to me, they're like, I want to lose pounds, but I want to lose them in the right places. So that, I just love that idea and just wanting to shape our womanly curves, what makes us beautiful. So she's just awesome at that and just promoting that overall love for your body and love your curves and love your figure. So for me, it's my Cuba Rican-ness, and I've always said that because I'm Cuban and Puerto Rican, best of both worlds. But I mean, growing up in that culture and just being around a huge family, like seriously huge family, always made me just extremely outgoing and sassy. And so that's why for me, when I started doing these videos and stuff, like people are like, oh my God, you're so fun and energetic and sassy. And I'm just like, damn, I'm just the way I am normally around my family. Like that's just the way we are. We're very outgoing. We're very sassy. We got a lot to say. If you know my mama, you know that she has no filter on her mouth, like none. And I think that's kind of helped me because it's helped me be realer with people, because I think of my mama, what she would say to me and what I would say to my cousins. Like I always keep it real with them and keep it 100. So that, if anything, is what really truly influenced me, like being just the relationship that I have with them and being outgoing and around, 50,000 Theos and cousins and stuff like that all the time is just what helped me be energetic and outgoing and honestly not be shy. I'm just so used to being around so many people, and if you're around my house on a Sunday, it's just jam-packed and I never know why. Who invited you? First thing I would say is that feeling, that stuck feeling, is a feeling. It is not what's actually happening. You shouldn't let go of that. Let go of that. Your feelings, your emotions, how you feel, your thoughts are directly affect your emotions more than what your actual events are. So if you're thinking negatively and you're like, you know what, I'm stuck, I suck, I'm never gonna get to this point, you have to start with changing your thoughts. So if you're in that place, if you feel uncomfortable right now, if you feel stuck, like, damn, how the hell am I gonna do this? I want you to do this. Write down something every day, 3 things every single day that you are grateful for. It could be your family, it could be your surroundings and stuff. I want you to start thinking about how you are blessed already. If you're thinking that you want to be in a position like me, you're already blessed because you know what you want to do and you have the capabilities. You are no greater than me. That's the thing people get. I'm like, I'm no stronger than you. I'm not more disciplined than you. I'm not greater than you. I just force myself to think that, and I am. And that's what people need to realize. Like, you are in control of your thoughts. You're in control of your settings. You have the ability to do it so long as you wish it. And it's true what Disney taught us. Like, the things that you dream you can achieve, you can do that. And so that's what I want you to do right now. Get out of that negative mindset. Get out of that stuck feeling and start writing down the things that you're grateful for, because the moment that you are more grateful, you will be blessed. You will open up your eyes. And right now, I bet you there's an opportunity either at your doorstep or coming around. And if your mind is not in a place where I'm open, I am not stuck, it's not gonna happen. And I don't want anybody to miss out on opportunities. I missed out on so many, and now they're just coming at me. I mean, look at me right now. I'm sitting down with Ken Thacker on K.R.E.A.T.E. Who the heck would have thought that? But me working on the little things that I'm working on has helped me get to this point. So just get out of your own head, honestly. If I did it and I felt hopeless, you can do it too. Honestly, I feel like realness is what's missing. You know, you go on Instagram and you see these models with their fit tees, with their waist trainers. You see the Kardashians doing it and you're like, damn, you know what? That's what I need. That's what I'm gonna do. And you get your fit tee and you get your waist trainer, and like a couple weeks later, nothing happens. And that's the thing. People are, it's the whole, that could go so much deeper into like beauty and our perception of beauty and media and all that type of thing, but that's really what it is. You see this person with a banging ass shape, you see her drinking this stuff, and you think, oh, if I do that, if she's drinking that, then I'm gonna get it too. But that person isn't telling you, oh, by the way, I never really used this. I got paid $300 just to post this picture. You ain't hearing that. And you ain't seeing the workouts that she's doing, probably because she went and got plastic surgery. Like, that's the problem. People are doing these things and they're not saying it. There's nothing wrong with plastic surgery. And I'm not shitting on anybody. Like, whatever makes you happy, man, do you, mama. Like, do you. Really do you. But keep it 100. Don't let me follow you and like squat a million days and think that I'm gonna have a bubble booty like yours when you got yours at whoever. Like that's it. Like people have these false hopes, and because they're buying into this and buying into people who aren't keeping it real with them, they in turn fail in their own journeys and never get to the point where they're happy. So it's just like it's just a continuing cycle of failure, and that's what's missing. What's missing from the fitness realm and from that is somebody who's going to tell you no. Put down that tea and go sweat. Put down that donut. It ain't gonna help you that you're drinking your fit tea with it. Like, you need somebody who's gonna keep it 100 with you, who's gonna tell you what it is, and somebody who ultimately looks like you. Yes, I have before and after pictures, but as I mentioned, I'm still thick. I still got meat on me. I still got extra weight. I'm still probably obese compared to the BMI schedule, which, by the way, that's total BS. The BMI thing, don't let yourself get hung up by that, because I used to, and it's so not true. So that's it. Somebody who's gonna keep it real with you and just tell you these products aren't gonna work unless you work. Waist trainer ain't gonna work unless you're actually doing things. I use one, yeah, I use one when I lift because it helps me keep my form correctly. I'm gonna tell you that, but I'm not gonna tell you I'm getting a small waist from it because I'm not. And that's my page. When you go on Cruise to Fit, when you talk to Coach Cruz, you know that whatever she's recommending are things that she's done that's worked for her. And then I can then share with you how it can work for you. That's it. I will create a movement that will inspire real people to make real tiny little changes. Nothing crazy, nothing big. You can still love the foods you love, but just be healthy. That's what I'm gonna create. A happy, healthy lifestyle that's easy and accessible to everybody. And that eventually you can easily translate to your life and to your family.